the need for community, the need for social order, the need for socialization. There's no doubt that in early years the neurons build up every relationship and build up as a network. Therefore, it makes sense to have a wider family setting to create a certain social structure in the mind of a very young child who is in the phase of learning about people.
ஆசா பசங்கள்லாம் அதிகமாக இல்லாமல் இருக்கிறத வச்சு ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமாக இருந்தா.
கிராமங்களில் இருக்கும்போது அக்கம் பக்கத்தில் இருக்கிறவா எல்லாரும் ஹெல்ப், ஒருத்தருக்கு கல்யாணம்னாக்கா ஊரில் இருக்கிறவா எல்லாரும் வந்து முடிச்சுட்டோம். ஐ ஹேட் ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ், ஆனாலும் குழந்தைகளை பற்றி கவலை இல்லாமல் இருந்தது.
When my husband's sister passed away, she had an older boy who was 6 or 7 years old, and she died leaving the baby behind. I was just married. I had also just had a baby. My son was 2 months at that time. And my mother-in-law was elderly. She was 75 or 76 when this happened. She wanted to bring the baby back, the children back, and wanted us, my husband was the only son, to look after these children. And I said no. What at that time I was worried that how will I cope with this? In hindsight now, I wish I had not taken that decision. I think my husband will really carry this regret to his deathbed that I let down my sister who died. I didn't have her children with me. Whereas I feel if I had been part of a joint family setup, operational considerations, these small things would not have been the thing. It would have been a bigger thing of what is good for these children. They would have been absorbed under the umbrella of this family.
எனக்கு தெரியும், நான் எங்கள் அப்பா டெல்லியில் இருக்கும்போது டெல்லியிலேருந்து மெட்ராஸ்லேருந்து கம்யூனிகேஷன் சொன்னல, இங்கேருந்து வந்து எங்கள் அப்பா பறந்து போய் எங்கள் சித்தப்பாக்கு ஏதோ ப்ராப்ளம்னா அவர் போய் ஹெல்ப் பண்ணிட்டு வருவார். வீடை விற்று காசு தன்னுடைய வர ஷேரையும் அவர்கிட்ட கொடுத்து நீ கல்யாணம் பண்ணிட்டு.
There is a certain community dance, for example, happening inside the house. Who says what, when, how are things arranged, how are things organized in the family. You've got to fit into that.
You have company, you have somebody you can talk to, you have somebody to give you an option of something to do. It's not that you have to choose it, but at least there's somebody who is experienced who can give you another option and another view to things. My grandmother is here, so my children stay in my room while my mother and her mother, they stay here.
I think it was a lack of space. For a child, a joint family is the best place to be.
To balance the career and the children is the biggest challenge, not only to be, it's for any lady.
As a life journey, it was important for me to ensure that my children were brought up the way I thought was good.
I left my job because my mother-in-law had 2 heart attacks. She's severely having osteoporosis. She's using a walker. I compromised on the job.
Today's setup, I don't think that people will get adjusted.
The industrial revolution that happened in England was, I think, basically the death knell for the joint family system. The joint family was forced, I think, to send out its members to learn new skills.
ஆனால் ரிலேஷன்ஷிப் நல்லா இருக்கணும்னா கொஞ்சம் தனியாக இருந்தால் தான் இப்போ நல்லா இருக்கும்.
I live alone. My sister lives down the road by herself, and just next door my father lives. He's 82 and he lives by himself. We meet up practically every day. All 3 of us always have dinner together. I cannot imagine that all 3 of us would be able to live in the same house.
They know that they cannot live together, but at least they can join together.
குழந்தைகளை பார்த்துக்கிறதுக்கு ஒத்துரும் இல்லை, 2 பேரும் வேலைக்கு போக வேண்டிய கட்டாயம் வந்துடுது.
Initially we thought once he goes to the higher classes, dependency will come down and I can start full-fledged on my career. That's what I thought, but not so. Because my career, which I had so many breaks because of wedding and child and all that, it's just come into a kind of routine now. And again, if I have a child, I'll have to take a break again, and I really cannot expect the same support system that my parents or my in-laws, because now they are older. If there is a second child and with the responsibility of the first child, there are more chances of me having to quit and be at home, which I don't know if I'm going to be ready with that.
If I need to chat with somebody, connect with somebody, I don't need to go to my cousin or my chitti or anything. I use Facebook.
Family problem, local problem, friend கிட்ட வெளியில சொல்ல மாட்டாங்க. நான் என்ன ஏர்ன் பண்ணுறேன்னு என் அண்ணனுக்கு தெரியாது, அண்ணன் என்ன ஏர்ன் பண்ணுறான்னு தம்பிக்கு தெரியாது. ஆனால் என்னோடய ஃப்ரெண்டுக்கு நல்லா தெரியும் நான் என்ன ஏர்ன் பண்ணுறேன். ஸோ ஹீ நோஸ் பெட்டர் தேன் மை பிரதர் And so if there is any problem, he comes into the picture to help me.
இவங்களை பெற்று வளர்த்து எவ்வளோ கஷ்டப்பட்டு இவங்களுக்கு எவ்வளோ இதாக வேலை வாங்கி கொடுத்து இவங்களை படிக்க வச்சு எவ்வளோ கஷ்டப்பட்டு.
Today we look at elders in terms of the utility they have for us. I'm happy to have my parents live with me because I work and my children can get their homework done or something.
My grandmother's here with me. She's enjoying every bit of our life. She's amused, she's thrilled, and she's living every moment of it. When I grow old, I also want to be able to do the same thing. Have my children with me, have my grandchildren within reach. What I want to enjoy probably later in life, make sure I give it to my grandmother and my mother.
Living alone, I think there is a certain sense of, you have your freedom, you have your space to do what there may be you want to do, which may not happen when the family is there. For instance, when my grandchildren all are here, I give all my time and energy there. So I suspend everything of my own activities. But there are times of complete desolateness when you come back and shut the door and you are yearning to talk.
Once I was talking to the principal and one kid walks in and says, I want to talk to my mother, I'm having stomach pain, I want to go home. The principal said, this is your mother's here court timings, she's not going to pick up the call and you can't speak, so you go and come back in the evening. He must be 8 or 9, but that he wanted to go to his mother.
And you want to have somebody to be able to have an outburst with. Outburst of just letting things get out of your system when there's nobody. To me, there's an imperativeness of having the family for just an everyday need that the human heart has of communication.